Hi, welcome to Sugar Free. This is your reading for the weekend of the 13th and 14th of October 2018. Hope you're well wherever you are. It's been blowing a hoolie here in the south of England. The wind kind of ripping the autumn leaves from the trees. Lots of very, very heavy gusts and buckets of rain this morning. Anyway, it seems to have calmed down a little bit now. I think it's Storm Callum, and if you're watching this in the US, in the eastern part of the United States, I do hope you are okay with that storm, Michael. Looks like it's been extremely violent, so hope all is well where you are. Right. Let's see what we get. I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently for this reading. I think because Venus is retrograde and I have, well no, my partner has got two Venus elements for him because he's Taurus Sun and Libra Moon, so he's gone double retrograde. I'm single retrograde because I'm Taurus Sun but I'm Virgo Moon, but anyway, it's all been a little bit kind of Seven of Cupsy. A little bit moony, yeah, but anyway, so I'm changing things around a little bit, being a bit fluid, and what I'm going to be doing is pulling three major arcana cards, and then I have shuffled up all the minor arcanas. Been sitting here watching and listening to Ian Dury and the Blockheads shuffling the cards. And God, what a wonderful, wonderful musician he was, and they were. But yeah, so I'm going to be putting three major arcanas and clarifying each of them with a minor arcana, and then one from the Wild Kuan Yin Oracle. So we'll see how that goes. I haven't practiced rather the format at all, so we'll just see what happens. Right. I'll shuffle. And one last cut. Okay. Right, so the first major arcana we get is the Hanged Man. Okay, and I'm going to clarify the Hanged Man with the Page of Cups. So, well, suspension or a withheld love offer. Okay, right, let's get the next major, the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. Now, whether that's significant or not that it's in the reverse, we might see in due course. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, because who's to say when a wheel is the right way up or not? I'm going to clarify that with the Nine of Wands. Right, and the last major arcana, the Star. How lovely. Clarified by... yeah, I have shuffled over and over again. The Ten of Wands. Right, well, I would say it's time to get busy with the optimism, and it just strikes me that in the Ten of Wands here, the wands are being carried away for storage. Whatever has gone on through the wands cycle is over, and the dude here is carrying them away to put them away because they're just no longer required. The cycle is complete, and it looks to me like it is safe to hope because the struggle of the Wands cycle has come to an end with the Ten of Wands, clarifying the star in the upright. You don't have to worry that you are laying yourself open in the matter of hope and in the matter of faith and in the matter of being open. I mean, the star here is about emotional flow and freedom with that flow, and the absence of a sense of limitation with that flow, because she's got nothing to hide. She's come so far in the cycle. It's number 17. It's so close to the end. She's come such a long way and made it through that she can afford to go sky-clad, as they call it, and just pour and pour and pour into the stream of herself. How wonderful. And the Wheel of Fortune here and the Nine of Wands, I would say it is significant in this reading that the Wheel of Fortune is in the reverse, clarified by the Nine of Wands, because there's a fear here. This is the underbelly of the offer. There is a fear here that things are not going to go your way, and a sense of needing to be defended about that, and needing to sort of take action to perhaps cover your bases in however it is you're approaching something, or whatever is going to fall out, how the cards are going to fall in this situation. And it looks like there's a waiting going on, waiting for some sort of offer here. And I mean, traditionally, I think the Page of Cups is a love offer, and it's one that we really, really do want, because we get the added bonus of the fish in this one. There's something really special we're after, and there's a sort of surprise element to this as well. But I think perhaps the surprise element, I mean, who would have expected a live fish to jump out of that cup? But the surprise element is wearing thin. you can't wait, as the Hangman does. You can't wait for a surprise. I mean, it kind of cancels the whole energy out, doesn't it? And what's cancelling it out is this sense of impending kind of doom in this matter of the Hangman and the Page of Cups. Well, let me just have a little think about this. Yeah, okay, yeah, job done. And a sense not only of impending doom, but the need to build some barriers, I would say, and perhaps some sort of like, oh, if this doesn't work, then that, and if I don't say this, then that, and if I do say this, then that. There's a kind of load of kind of bet hedging going on. But what's underpinning that bet hedging is the fear that things are not going to go your way. And the key to power here, the star in the upright, clarified by the Ten of Wands, is that it is safe to put that bet hedging to one side, whatever the outcome is, whether this offer comes in or not. And I think basically this is showing that while your bet hedging going on here is focused on this Page of Cups love offer here, there is actually bigger fish to fry. I mean, the star here is not concerned with romantic love. It's gone beyond that. And focusing in on hopes built around one person is perfectly natural. It's perfectly natural, but goodness me, there's more to life, and there's even more to relationships. Not only are we wanting what they might have to offer, but we have to think, what do we have to offer? And when a relationship starts and there's all that kind of early bonding, and then you get beyond that stage, and then it's just life, and it's just life just like anything else, and it just has to be got on with. And I'm not saying it all becomes sort of boring and just mundane and every day. I mean, if it does, it's not going to work, is it? But the magic of life, and that's what we see here in the Star in the Upright. I mean, it's just pure magic. Look at it. It's absolutely lovely. Extends way beyond love offers. Way beyond that. And these 10 wands here being put away at the end of the cycle, they're not even being used to sort of defend yourself anymore. It's like no, we don't need these anymore. Let's put them away. There is bigger fish to fry on the table here. And there really is, and this is the key to power, and she is in the upright in the Star here. So broaden your vision, because I tell you one thing that really, really, really makes us unattractive to someone is when they get the sense that all our hopes are riding on them. That sends people running for the hills. And there is little that is more attractive to people than the sense that we are whole and happy whether we have them or not. That is hugely attractive, so do just bear that in mind. Right, let's get one from the Wild Kuan Yin Oracle. Okay, I see it. There it is. Oh, how lovely. We get Sacred Falcon shows the way. Now this is really interesting, because there's the falcon, the sacred falcon. She's not looking at it. She's looking down at the bison, but he's seen it. Let me just turn this around and have a closer look at it. Well, no, she's looking at us, actually. Oh, pure magic. Pure magic. She's just flying. Oh, look at her. She's so sweet. Flying through the air with one of her animals. Little magic shepherdess girl. Being guided forward by this sacred bird of prey. Now, birds of prey obviously hunt. And I mean, it's the most amazing thing to watch. A bird of prey, a hawk in this case, hunting. It's the most extraordinary thing to watch them. I tell you, I was many, 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 many years ago. I was out in the country and I went for a walk on a hill, this great big rocky hill. In fact, it's the highest hill in the whole of the Cornish Peninsula, and it's called Rowtor, and it's spelt Rough Tor, Rough, an amazing place. And there is a theory that in Neolithic times, Rowtor was a kind of cosmological and cultural and spiritual centre in that part of the world. And I mean, these days, Cornwall is simply, not simply, but it is principally a holiday destination. But in Neolithic times and in Bronze Age times, that peninsula on the far southwest of England was the cultural centre. Because all the trade was coming up from the Mediterranean and from the Middle East and from the Far East. It was all coming up through the Mediterranean, up the west coast of Europe, up past Spain and Portugal, and up the west coast of France and the Cornish Peninsula, was like the centre, it was the hub, it was like the big city of London is now. And I was walking up there on my own, and there's all these like massive great granite rocks strewn around the place. And I had a little sit down on the way back down, and it was just coming up for dusk, and I knew I had to get off this hill. I didn't have a torch with me. I had to get off this hill, in good time to not get stuck up there in the dark, because I could have fallen over and like smacked my ankles or something on rocks. But anyway, this is way out in the middle of nowhere, right out on the middle of the moors, this place. And I sat down between these two huge rocks. There was this little strip of turf between these two. I mean, there's loads of rocks. I just happened to sit down between these two massive great granite boulders. And after a while, I lay down. It was beautiful, it was so peaceful. And I was looking up, so I had this little strip of sky above me, and it was completely clear. And, there was no wind or anything. And I was lying there just looking up at the sky with these two sort of rock faces either side of me. And in the sky, in the air above me, appeared a hawk. And it stopped. And it was doing that thing where, the wings go like this, and its head was completely still, absolutely still, and it was hovering over me with its wings going like this, like looking down at me. I was probably I would have been the biggest living thing on the hill, and it was obviously out having a kind of dusk time hunt. And I lay there looking up at it, and we kind of stared at each other for a few seconds. And then I moved. I thought, I'd best move because it is interested in me. And I had this kind of primal fear that it was going to suddenly, it was going to shoot down and like go for one of my eyes or my nose or something. Anyway, I moved and it flew off. But my goodness me, what an experience. It was absolutely lovely. Anyway, back to this rather. The sacred falcon shows the way. So something directional is presented to us in this. Something directional that carries within it the possibility of leading us or showing us the way towards something we would like to get. But because it's a sacred falcon, it might not be obvious, any more obvious than it is obvious to us, perhaps at this stage, with the hangman in the upright clarified by the Page of Cups, that it is obvious that there is a wider goal to be engaged with, signified here by the star in the upright and the Ten of Wands, where the Nine of Wands need to protect ourselves from bad luck, basically, or the perception of possible bad luck, is no longer required. It's just not required anymore. There's, bigger spiritual fish to fry. I'll put it that way. So keep an eye out for something left field and something directional, something that has the quality of seeking, signifying, directing in a particular, down a particular road, off down perhaps down an alleyway, pointing you somewhere where you might not necessarily think, in order to get this Page of Cups, this love offer, and protect yourself from this bad luck, something that you might not think would be an obvious way to go, because there is bigger spiritual fish to fry. Okay, please like, please share, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like a private reading, all the information you need is in the description box below. Have a wonderful weekend. All best. Bye-bye.